I thought it'd be good to go through a couple more examples of these multi-step reacting masses calculations, because they can take a little while to get to grips with. The more examples you see, the better you're going to be able to understand it. So in the first video that I did on this, I used this example of a reaction, and I showed how if we're told the mass of one thing, we can work out the mass of every other thing in the equation. So I worked out the mass of water, the mass of the silicon dioxide, and the mass of the hydrogen chloride. I'm going to go through a couple more examples. I'm going to follow exactly the same three-step method, and it uses different equations here, so you get the idea of how to do it when you see a new question. So here's my first one. Given the equation for hydrogen reacting with oxygen to make water. The question says, what mass of water is made from the combustion, so the reaction of 12 grams of hydrogen? Okay, so let's go through the method. First step, find the number of moles for the substance we know about. So in this question, the thing that we actually know about is hydrogen. We're told there's 12 grams of it. So the first thing we're going to do is work out the moles of hydrogen, which is the H2. Okay, we're going to use the equation moles as mass divided by relative formula mass. And we're told in the question the mass, 12.0. We need to know the relative formula mass of hydrogen. Hydrogen is H2. So to find the relative formula mass, we need to do two lots of the relative atomic mass of hydrogen, which is 1. You get that from the periodic table, so that's just 2. All right. So the moles is going to be 12 divided by 2, which we can do in our heads, is 6. Well, okay, second step. Find the number of moles for the substance that we've been asked about. So the thing we've been asked about is water. And this is the step where we use our molar ratio. So let's write down what our molar ratio is. 2 to 2. Or another way of saying that, to make it simpler, is 1 to 1. So 1 mole of hydrogen makes 1 mole of water, which means 6 moles of hydrogen would make 6 moles of water. So let's just write that we know how to do that. Moles of H2O is 6. Okay, so now we can do the last step. Find the mass for the substance that we've actually been asked about. And in this case, that's the water, of course. So mass of water, the equation we use for this is the moles times the relative formula mass. Okay, we've just worked out the number of moles of water, it's 6. And we need to know the relative formula mass of water. So the relative formula mass of H2O is going to be, there's 2 lots of hydrogen atoms, so 2 times 1, and 1 oxygen atom. So it's 18 in total. So 6 times 18 to find our mass of water, which is 100. It's not 198, is it? It's going to be 108. Yeah. And the unit for mass is grams. Okay. So there we go. That's quite a large amount of water it's made. This would be quite a decent sized explosion. I've just followed those same 3 steps to work out for water. All right, one more example then. This time we've got aluminium reacting with oxygen, making aluminium oxide. What mass of aluminium is required to make 10 grams of aluminium oxide? Okay, first step, number of moles for the thing that we know about. We're told 10 grams of aluminium oxide, so it's this that we're going to work out the number of moles of first. So moles of Al2O3 is mass divided by the relative formula mass. Write it out in full every step. The mass that we've been told is 10 grams of it, so that's 10. And the relative formula mass is going to be, so let's work this out here. There's 2 lots of aluminium in it, so 2 lots of 27. And 3 lots of oxygen, so 3 lots of 16. And that gives us a total relative formula mass of 102. Okay, so 10 divided by 102. So that gives us 0.0980 moles. Okay, it gives us a slightly longer number. So I'm going to keep that longer number in the calculator. I'm going to write that slightly simpler number down for the sake of showing my steps, but I'm going to use the longer number that I've kept in my calculator. I only round things at the very end of the calculation. Step 2, use that molar ratio to find the number of moles for what we've been asked about, which is aluminium. So, molar ratio, 2 moles of aluminium oxide makes 4 moles of aluminium. So it's a 2 to 4 ratio, or we can make that simpler. That's just the same as saying it's a 1 to 2 ratio. To get from the moles of this to the moles of that, in other words, what we've done is we have to times it by 2. So to find the number of moles of aluminium, we're going to need to times that by 2. Okay, so that's going to be moles of Al equals 0.098 times 2, which gives us 0.196. Again, keep the longer number in the calculator. Just write that down. Last step. Now I can do what the question's asked me. Find the mass of aluminium. And that is going to be the number of moles times the relative formula mass. Okay, a number of moles we've just worked out, 0.196, and the relative formula mass of aluminium, we just have to look on the periodic table to find that, and it is 27. So that gives us 5.3 grams is the answer for that one. So that's just 2 more worked examples, just so you can see, again, always using the same 3 steps to work out the mass that we've been asked.